want you to marry her. This was a tactic they did to try to keep him in town and attached to the town so he will not think of ever leaving them. He resisted. He wasn't even thinking about marriage. But based on their insistence, he said, I agree to marry her. He married her. Okay, the night of the wedding, when they presented her to him, he said, I looked at her and I was startled and astonished, and I was unable to raise my eyes off her neck. I seen the necklace I gave the old man some time ago on her neck. This is a true story, authentic story. He wasn't looking at his new bride's face, even though she's mentioned as being one of the most beautiful women in that town, in that island. The relatives around him said, you broke that orphan's heart. How could you look at the necklace and not at her? You're breaking her heart. It's like you're saying she's ugly by your looks. He said, I began to tell them the story of how I found that necklace on her neck, and how I returned it to some old man in Mecca, and how I left Mecca, and then the ship sunk, and how I arrived to their island. I told them the whole details of the story. They began to shout and cry, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. And the crowds in the town began to gather. He said, why are you people doing this, and why are you astonished? They told him, the man you gave the necklace to is the father of this girl. And what's more astonishing than that is we used to always hear him say, I never met a Muslim on the face of this earth like the man who returned the necklace to me. And they said we used to always hear him make dua, oh Allah, unite that man who returned the necklace with my daughter as her husband. He used to always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he be the husband to his daughter, and Allah answered his dua. This is what happens with tawakkul. During hard times, your tawakkul needs to go unwavering, and that light will reappear at the end of the tunnel. Tawakkul is your source of ease and happiness in both difficult and happy times. That's not the end of the story. Look it, from tunnel to tunnel. You see the light, then you go in another tunnel. He said, I lived with her a very nice life, and Allah blessed me with 2 children. Tawakkul, through ease and hardship. Then she died. His wife died. Another hardship. So he said, me and my sons inherited the necklace. Then my 2 children died. Another hardship, but no, the tawakkul still there. He said, then I sold the necklace for 100,000 dinar. And that's where I got the wealth. He was explaining later on how he got the wealth he has. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah and keeps his duty to Allah, Allah will always find him a way out from every single difficulty you can imagine. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. He will provide him from sources he never imagined. وَيَرْزُقْهُم, it will come from sources you never even perceive. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever puts his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be sufficient for him. Whoever puts his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will suffice him.